In lesson 2-4, we're going to divide positive and negative fractions. Okay, and so in order to divide, we actually don't divide fractions. What we do is we multiply by the inverse or the reciprocal. Okay, reciprocal is the two numbers with a product of 1. So if we take a look here, we do 2/5 divided by 3/4. Okay, notice the first number here is going to stay the same. 2/5 is 2/5. But instead of dividing, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of the second number. Okay, so notice we're just flipping it around. 3/4 turns into 4/3. If we look at it in letters, it'd be A over B. Notice the A over B stays the same. And then divided by C over D, where we're going to change the division to multiplication, and then we're going to flip it over. So it's not going to be C over D, it's going to be D over C. Okay, so let's try a couple. So let's copy this down. We'll go 2 divided by 7 divided by negative 8 over 9. All right, so since we're dividing, let's go ahead and rewrite it as 2 divided by 7 times negative 9 over 8. Okay, and the reason we can do this here is the reciprocal of negative 8 or 9 times negative 9 over 8 is equal to positive 1. Okay, so what we're doing here is all right because we're kind of multiplying this by 1 and just getting into a different form. All right. Now, once we get into multiplication, it's the same homework as yesterday's lesson or the last lesson on 2-3. Okay. Now we know that this is going to be negative, so we can say right away that the answer is going to be negative. And we're trying to simplify it. Well, I can simplify the 2 and the 8, so this is going to be a 1, and this will be a 4. All right, we multiply across, we get 9 over 28, and I can't simplify that any further, so negative 9/28 is my answer. And notice again, it is negative. I can change it here to red. All right, so again, let's copy negative 3/5 divided by 9/10. All right, I'm going to circle this division so I remember to flip it. The first number stays the same, negative 3/5 times 10/9. Now, I'm going to simplify where I can. Well, I can do the 3 and the 9 by 3. I can do the 5 and the 10 by 5. I'll multiply straight across. I'm going to have a negative for an answer, so negative 2/3, and that is in the simplest form. All right, now when you're dividing here with mixed numbers, you're going to have to get improper fractions. So let's go ahead and do this work right here. So 3 times 4, we're going to add 12, and 2 times 8, we're going to add 16. All right, so let's rewrite it. We'll get 13/4 divided by, and we're going to have a negative 17/8. All right, now we're going to circle the division and rewrite it as multiplication. 13/4 times negative 8/17. Simplify where you can, so the 4 and the 8. All right, and I can't simplify any further, so I'm going to get a negative, and we'll have 26/17. Now we can get this into a mixed number because the original problem was in mixed numbers, so let's go ahead. All right, I apologize for the interruption. So we're going to subtract the 17 from that. That'll make a whole. All right, and we're going to have 9 left over. Okay, so we're going to make one whole. It would be negative 1. And this would be 9/17 left. All right, so again, if we could check that, we take 17 plus 9, that would be 26, so that's your 26/17. So we're just renaming it as negative 1 and 9/17. You do here need to write it as a mixed number because the original problem, they gave us 2 mixed numbers, okay? All right, so again, let's get these into mixed improper fractions. So 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 9 is 9, so let's rewrite it as 7/3 divided by negative 10/9. All right, let's circle that division and rewrite it as multiplication. So 7/3 will stay the same, times negative 9/10. Simplify what you can. The 3 goes to a 1, the 9 goes to a 3. Can't do anything else. We know it's going to be negative, so we're going to say negative 21/10. We do need to get it in a mixed mixed number because the problem gave it to us as a mixed number. So if I subtract 20, it's going to be 2 whole with 1 left over. So I'm going to do 2 and 1/10. Remember, the answer is negative, so get that negative sign in there, and that's your final answer. All right, one summer day, a cinema shows a hit action movie repeatedly for 12.5 hours. It takes about 150 minutes to run the movie and prepare for the next showing. How many times does the cinema show the movie that day? Okay, so we have a total of 12.5 hours and 150 minutes to run the movie and prepare for the next showing. So let's get this into hours because we got to have common units. So let's leave the 12.5 the same. We'll go 12.5, and we're going to divide that into the 150 minutes. Well, if I take 150, subtract 120, right, I'm going to have 30 left, and 120 was 2 hours, so that's 2.5 hours. Okay, so I'm going to divide by 2.5. Now I got to get these into improper fractions, so 12 times 2 is 24. 2 times 2 is 4. Let's get this into improper. Let's go 25 over 2 divided by 5 over 2. And now let's rewrite it as multiplication. Okay, so we're going to say 25 over 2 times 2 over 5. Now, simplify where you can. The 2's are both going to turn into 1, so that works nicely. The 5 is going to turn into a 1, and the 25 will be a 5. Multiply straight across, we're going to get 5 for an answer. Now we have to figure out what our units, so 5 times, because it asked how many times did the cinema show the movie that day. So the answer would be 5 times. Okay, so that's our last example for today's notes. Be sure to check the Moodle page for your homework.